What up? 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 Oh, excuse me. Um, I have been gassy today. I know that's too TMI. I've been burping and farting all over the place. So apologies now. What up, people? It's your boy Chick. This is why my mum texts me and goes, "Why do you tell people some of the shit that you tell them?" What up, people? It's your boy Chig for Good Eagle Eye coming to you again with a brand new video. This time we are through to Eagle Eye, a transfer rumor show where I talk to you about rumors and news surrounding the Arsenal and the craziest story of the transfer window. You're damn goddamn right. Let's go right into it. Let's go right into it. Arsenal are being linked with a £77 million bid for this young man, Lautaro Martinez, and it definitely the craziest story of the transfer window so far. Um, it's interesting reactions that I see to this because I'm not gonna lie, and you know I kind of talk to everybody here where I think everybody should get a grip when it comes to transfer with rumors and transfer. I'm quite calm at the moment when it comes to Arsenal transfer business. You know, presumably the Ben White thing is due to be completed tomorrow. They always targeted Wednesday as the completion day for it. Um, so if by the end of Wednesday we've not seen a significant progress on that story, then yes, all right, then I'll start to get a little concerned. Um, but I think all things considered, nobody expected Arsenal to come out with and start saying, right, cool, give me 50 million for Ben White. In fact, while you're at it, give me 17 million for some unknown, wonderful Anderlecht talent. And Rago, I'm just gonna buy a backup left back because we should have got one last season. We didn't. We suffered a little bit for it, so I'm gonna make sure I get it this season. And yeah, all right. Granted, Chig might be better than him in goal, but Rago, let's go and get a 30 million Ramsdale on him. We are spending the money that people had for so long have said that the American has held hostage. Granted, it's not on necessarily the right targets. I think Ben White, for example, is about 15 million too much for what he is. But then, you've got to pay that premium sometimes. You've got to pay that England cap, just come back from the World Cup premium sometimes. He's 23 years old. I think the kid is only getting better. He's on an upward trajectory. Um, so, in my personal opinion, I think kind of if that's the case, if that's the way it's got to be, let it be. And now we come to the Martinez thing. And listen, the Martinez story is a crazy story. First things first, even if he was drunk and high, why would he come to Arsenal? Of all the teams that he could leave Inter Milan for, why would he come to Arsenal? Now, the only thing that you could perhaps suggest as perhaps the reason why Arsenal may stand some sort of chance is because we know that the Italian clubs are struggling for money at the moment. For example, you've got Juve, who have won back-to-back leagues for how long? And they're struggling to close this deal for Locatelli, which is only for 40 million. I say only. I'm putting that in brackets for 40 million. Um, Whereas Arsenal are not in Europe and they're just flinging money left, right, and centre. It just shows you that the Premier League has money. That is where the money is. So it's for that reason why, you know, we could there could be even a smidgen of a chance. But like I say, he would have to be crazy dumb to even be tempted by the idea of coming to Arsenal. I recognize that. I'm not stupid. I recognize that. Um, Secondly, I think the guy's record is fantastic. and he got 19 goals last season, something like 11 assists, something like that. You know, the talent is crazy. 23 years old, another one that, you know, I hear a lot about Arsenal's profile and the profile of player that they're going for. I think it's safe to say that they're going for players with resale value, and he certainly fits within that bracket. You would think for Arsenal to spend that type of money, they're not spending that money on anyone that perhaps is over 26. So you're looking at anything between 18 and 20 and 25 really. Um, and he certainly fits that model. And I think if there's anything that Stan is going to green light, it's for one of the best strikers yet to realize it in the world, in Martinez. Now I know some people will be sickened by the fact that I've even said that much, because I know a lot of people that think he's overrated. I think he's I don't think he's overrated. I think he's about where I would expect him to be as a player. We know that Lukaku is the main guy at Inter, and you're not going to get Lukaku. So let's be real here. But if you could get someone from Inter, could it be Martinez? I don't know. For 77 million, I'd be tempted. Um, it's not a crazy amount either. It's 90 million euros, 77 million pounds. Um, and obviously, this comes with the prerequisite that if Lacazette, who's being linked with a move today to Atletico Madrid for 15 million euros, if he ends up going, and obviously Eddie ends up going as expected, then it opens up a spot in that striker's position. So it'd be interesting to see what Arsenal do here. But 77 minutes. For me, this is why I think we need to have a grip on all sides, because I see people complaining left, right, and centre. You listen, the same people, and this is just my opinion. You can take it or leave it. All weekend, I've seen people bitching about, oh, well, how is it that we're being linked with Tammy Abraham? Tammy Abraham is basically Welbeck. I'm tempted by Tammy, but not for 40 million. I've seen that. I've seen various different opinions on Tammy Abraham all weekend. All weekend. All genuinely amounting to they'd either be tempted by him or they don't want him. But either way, 40 million for him is too much for what he is. And that's the general consensus. You can't then knock that move and then knock this one. I've seen the same people knocking that move, knock this one. So what exactly do you want then? You can't sit there and be like, well, how are Arsenal Football Club begging Chelsea for one of their players yet again, and then insulting the idea that this move would even exist, the idea that Arsenal would even have the audacity to. What exactly do you want, motherfucker? What do you want? You can't. Arsenal have to find some sort of balance here. There has to be there has to be some sort of balance. There has to be some sort of understanding of what Arsenal need to get. Martinez, for me personally, 23 years old, someone on the up and up, someone that I think could potentially slot into our team and add something to it. I think we can all at least agree would be more of an impact player than Lacazette. I think we could all agree would be more of an impact player than Tammy Abraham. To me, regardless of whether it's a pipeline dream or not, go for it. Go for it. I don't think we have much of a chance, but I'm certainly not going to knock your ambition for trying. Go for it. 77 million for Martinez. I don't see much happening after today. I don't even necessarily think the story will necessarily come up again. Because especially if someone like Man City, who are also looking for a striker, get involved. All Man City need to do is just basically say to Inter, who I'm pretty sure they have a decent relationship with as well, just keep us informed, innit? And we'll outbid all these fuckers for Martinez. And then of course we're fucked. But I don't personally, I'm not going to knock Arsenal necessarily for the story, even if it is what it is. Is it unlikely? Yes. Is it impossible? More or less. But you can't knock the Tammy Abraham story and then also not. What type of signing is it that you want? It is what it is. So, yeah, for me, I'm more comfortable seeing that story than seeing a Tammy Abraham story. That's for damn sure. But anyway, you guys let me know what you think. Am I being crazy? Am I being harsh? Let me know what you think. Leave it in the comments below. All right. Let's talk about this young man, Mr. Odegaard. We thought that this story had been put to bed. He came out a couple of weeks ago and basically, thanked the fans in quite an emotional speech. And, thanked them for making him feel so welcome, making him feel part of the Arsenal family. And that, this was his chance to try and, make the best of it. Because, listen, as much as I'm skeptical about Real Madrid, at 22, 23 years old, he will still have dreams and ambitions that he had harbored when he was 16 and got signed by Real Madrid. He will still want to play for the team. He'll want to try and do well for that team. And to me, of course, he'll want to see if he can be one of the best in the world, especially now that Zidane's not there. He'll want to see if he can match up. Carlo Ancelotti is said to really like him. So yeah, it's pretty interesting because with this story, the reason why this has come out about again is that there's a journalist, a Spanish journalist, which in my genius, I've forgotten to write down the name of. He basically said that there is a big disconnect between Odegaard and the rest of the team. That you can tell that he's not particularly settled within the team. So, for example, there are certain times when when the team are doing drills, and it could be like shooting on goal or penalties or free kicks. And when the teammates score, there's obviously a big celebration and, there's big cheers and, someone's putting their arm over him. When Odegaard scores, it's more or less silence. So apparently he's a bit of an outcast in training. Not really sure why. To my knowledge, he doesn't seem like a disrespectful guy. I never heard him say anything disrespectful about his teammates. And lots of people have been asking me over Twitter, like, what do I think? Would I keep Odegaard? I actually quite like Odegaard. I do. Excuse me. I know his stats weren't overly amazing. I know they weren't, but I always thought he was quite a forward-thinking player. I've seen people say that he tended to spread the ball from side to side. Actually, for me, he was one of the few people that kept the ball moving forward and moving full stop. I know that he had a good footballing relationship on and off the pitch with Thomas Partey. Little fun fact. And yeah, I for me, I wouldn't mind seeing him back. My only thing with it is that I wouldn't want to spend a crazy amount of money for it, and I get why people are a bit lukewarm to the idea of him coming back because they've allowed themselves to become excited by this young man, who I'll also come back to. But going back to Odegaard, I've always liked him. I think he's a decent player, a good passer of the ball. Like I said, I don't think his stats are anything to write home about, but I've always had this thought process with Odegaard that my gut feeling is, sorry, bear with me 1 second. I'll find a bottle of water. That's what I need. It's not COVID, promise. What was I gonna say? Yeah. I've always had this feeling with him that if he came back, I bet he does really good. Like I bet he'd do even better. I'm always had that feeling. Even when he first even when the season first ended, you'll catch me saying that on a show with Lee. My gut feeling is I bet he does better. I know Lee's never been a huge fan of his, and I know a few people have not been a huge fan. I've got a feeling I know better in this situation. I've just got a feeling that you give this kid another one pretty much similar to Smith Rowe. You give this kid another season and a half, injury free, and continue to develop. I think he'll get right up there. I honestly do. But it all depends. Would I rather him over Maddison? No, I'd rather Maddison. Obviously, Maddison is Premier League made, ready to go, more of an exciting player. But if you had to ask me who I think has the highest ceiling, I think Odegaard. To be honest, I'm just being honest. But what do you guys think? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. So I guess I better talk about his competition, and that is Maddison. James Maddison from Leicester. The guy who, in some outlets today, apparently Arteta has made his number one target. I'm going to be honest with you guys, right? There are certain times when, doing these type of shows, you see a story that might come up quite regularly, and you know deep down whether that story is likely to happen or take place. This is one story that ever since it came up, I always thought bullshit. I don't know why. Just my ultimate gut feeling that I think we'll see Odegaard at Arsenal before we see Maddison. And it won't necessarily have anything to do with money, because obviously we're seeing Arsenal clearly have money. But I just think maybe opportunity means maybe Vardy gets in his ear. You know, you never know. Supposedly he's an Arsenal fan. You know, he's a London boy. We know that. And you know, he might fancy the move. He clearly fancies the idea of stepping into Arsenal, in spite of the fact that Leicester would suggest are a better side at the moment. But he clearly fancies the challenge of stepping towards an Arsenal. And as Arsenal fans, we would love to have him. You know, even in his injury blighted season last year, he still did much more than any of our midfielders last year. So, this is a guy that I personally would love to have, even though I like Odegaard as well. I would personally love to have Maddison as part of the squad. I think he would be a different dynamic. He's a very technical player. I must admit, I've said this on the channel before, so I can't get away from it. I have to say it again. I don't rate him as much as some of you lot do. Like, you lot see him as A1. I'm not sure I see him as A1. But I do think he's a good technical player. Again, there's another good pass to the ball. another good set piece taker. Very surprised he missed the Euro 2020 squad. Even in spite of his injuries, I think he still could have given you a different look, a different dynamic there. And I think, people generally see him and or Grealish as the two most desirable attacking midfielders in the Premier League. So, of course, you're going to want to see Arsenal fans are definitely going to want to see him in an Arsenal shirt. Could I see it happening? Honestly, I genuinely don't. I mean, there's more chance of Odegaard being here. Honestly, I think there's more chance of Martinez being here. I really do. I don't know why. I've never had a good feeling about this deal. But let's see what happens. I'm not really basing it on much other than gut feeling and just experience of looking at stories and the way they play out. So let's just say, don't be surprised if in 2 weeks' time there's been no significant progress on James Maddison. Just putting it out there, look. Just managing your expectations, people. You know how I do. What might be more likely? Oh, jeez. This story. Aaron Ramsdale. Only Arsenal, I shit you not, only Arsenal could give away a diamond ring and pay more for the cubic Sirona the year after. Only Arsenal will be able to do that shit. This is one of them ones where I'm not going to lie to you. This is where generally, I'm not normally one for I told you so's, but I done told you motherfuckers. I done told you guys. I remember a year ago, I was getting the most amount of fucking grief from people saying, "Oh, Chig, I'm so surprised at you. Who gives a fuck whether Martinez is there? If you really wanna support Aston Villa that badly, go and support Aston Villa. They'll probably go down in relegation." Or just that, all because I voiced a couple of bits of opinion about the whole Martinez situation. All because I voiced a couple of bits of opinion. Oh, Chick, who cares? He's gonna flop. Just you watch. Martinez is overrated. Da-da-da-da-da. I remember. I absolutely remember. But then people knew better. Leno was better. Leno was just as good. Leno was this, Leno was that. Leno's had a trash season ever since. And the irony is, he has the audacity that he wants to go. He wants to leave Arsenal because Arsenal are not in Europe. The absolute audacity of that guy. What I don't understand, first of all, is his fascination with wanting an England goalkeeper, because we're also being linked with Sam Johnston, who is another keeper who I've seen people say that they wouldn't mind having. No, you don't want him either. Let me tell you something right now. You don't want him either. Basic, don't even begin to describe it. They're both as basic as each other. I get it, because this is one geezer who I was watching his compilation the other day, right? And normally, the one thing a goalkeeper compilation should do is you're at least seeing saves where they're using their entire 6'1", 6'2", 6'3" frame to save the ball. At no point do you ever see that from this kid. Never. Not once. Not ever. Like, he never uses his body to save the ball. It's mad. It's mad. How are you saving the ball, brother? Which tells me that his reflexes are terrible. His reflexes are terrible. You know? And we already know that he flaps a lot at the ball. Like, you will see it in some of his compilation supposed highlights where he comes out for the ball, he flaps at the ball. So let me get this straight. In your goalkeeper situation, you have two big problems. You don't know how to come, or you don't know when to come for the ball. And then even when you are where the ball should be, you don't know how quickly to react for the ball. At least Leno has that. Oh my goodness. And then Arsenal want to pay 30 million for the privilege. No. Arsenal, no. Don't just spend money for the sake of spending money. No Arsenal fan wants that shit. Spend on the right type of player. So who knows? So supposedly Arsenal have gone in or about to go in with a third and final bid for this guy. But my word, I don't know what's going on at the Arsenal. They think that this kid is going to be better than everybody. I don't see it. I don't get it. But let's find out. And then finally, for the stories I'm going to talk about before I head up out of here, because I need to go and get some water, because my mouth is parched, which is why I'm coughing like a motherfucker. Mr. Ben White, his deal is set to be completed this Wednesday, so you should start to see people talk about Ben White over the next 24 hours. So keep out on that. But yeah, supposedly that's a done deal. Personal terms were agreed some time ago. So yeah, I guess we'll find out if the social media stuff's been done, but it is what it is. You guys let me know what you think. Leave it in the comments below. I hope you've liked this video. It's a bit of an impromptu one, but I figured I'd lead in with the Martinez story because it was an interesting story to lead in with. But I hope you like this video. Drop a like on the video. Hit the subscribe button. Going on camera next time. I just want to have a shave first before I do it. I'm going to go on camera next time. Hopefully to talk about Ben White and the confirmed story. But other than that, take care, and I'll speak to you again tomorrow. Enjoy your evening, people. Peace. I said peace. You know when something don't listen to you, and you're like, what are you doing?